The walkway outside her flat was her lifeline. When her legs weren't playing up, she could stand there for hours, leaning on the concrete railing. Even when the pain of rheumatoid arthritis got particularly bad, she could perch herself on a high stool. She loved to watch the activities of the people around her. Everyone knew her, waved at her when they went past. Sometimes she even looked after a child or two, if anyone was in dire need of a helping hand. She enjoyed that, as long as she wasn't taken for granted. Plus, she liked it at Harrison House. It was only 3 stories high, not like one of the huge tower blocks in the city centre. There was a camaraderie she enjoyed, despite a lot of the tenants coming and going before she got to know them. She wouldn't say she was a busybody, but she did know a lot of what went on. People liked to offload to her, share gossip too. Of course, she never said anything to anyone, so she had garnered a certain trust among the regular tenants, often being seen as a confidant. Her eyes and ears were the best things she had left. At least she could be a small part of the community. Should she go outside? After all, she would have been there under normal circumstances. People might notice she was missing. She pushed herself up to standing, then sat back down again with a thump. She couldn't go out, not after what she had seen. There had been a commotion to her right, people in the car park, and then, across the way, something else was happening. That awful scream. Then she had seen something that would haunt her forever. So, when the police called, because she was certain they would, she would say only one thing. "I saw nothing," she whispered under her breath, her stomach swishing around with nausea. "I saw nothing." Chapter 2. Harrison House was an L-shaped building. There were 48 flats, 8 on either side of each landing, with a shared staircase at its middle. Entrances to every 2-bedroomed home opened out onto a covered communal walkway, a 3-foot concrete railing in front, the rest open to the elements. At the side was a residence car park. A large strip of grass wrapped almost all the way around the building, then stretched to the main road. Over the years, the block had got itself a reputation for housing troublesome tenants. It had been a hotspot for domestic violence, and there was even a murder there in 2015. But since Trent Housing Association received a grant to renovate the block, the area had slightly improved. Still, in amid the good people, it had problem residents, despite trying to clean itself up. DS Grace Allendale was doing her last call of the day. It was 6:30, past her usual finishing time, but she'd wanted to check a tenant out. "Really, he must think we've fallen off a Christmas tree," Grace said to her colleague, DC Frankie Higgins, as they came out of flat 202. "Croxton isn't just taking cannabis for medicinal purposes. We need to get onto the drugs team and see if they're scouting him out before we go into someone else's investigation with our size 11s. But, for my money, he's under the radar, and we've just stumbled on—" "What the hell is that racket?" She could hear shouting. It seemed to be coming from the car park to their right. She was just about to go downstairs and intervene when a blood-curdling scream rang through the air. It wasn't a cry of anguish or fear. It was one of sheer pain, and it was coming from below them. She and Frankie stepped towards the edge of the walkway and looked over the rail to where the noise had come from. To their left this time, a woman was running across the grassed area, followed closely by a man. Grace could make out a shape in the direction they were heading. The woman dropped to her knees as she got to it and screamed again. Oh no! Grace raced to the end of the walkway and hurled herself down 2 flights of stairs, Frankie hot on her tail. She pushed open the entrance door in the communal hallway and tore across the grass towards them. The woman had long blonde hair, a small frame and skinny arms and legs underneath her jeans and jumper. Water from the grass was seeping through her slippers. The man was medium height and build. His hands grasped fistfuls of his short, dark hair as he paced the ground, breath coming in rasps. "My baby!" the woman cried. "Wait!" Grace shouted, trying to get their attention. "He's broken," the woman sobbed. "My little